Okay, so this week's stock pick of the week for week commencing the 5th of May. Lots of potentials today, purely because markets have turned reasonably positive. So the scan results give me quite a lot, but I've chosen one in particular. But first, I want to go through 2 weeks ago, I started this with ETON, and I'm going to go through that one now. And then last week was RSI. I'm going to go through that one. So what I want to do each week is update you on those particular stocks that I've chosen. And in this week, it's an ETF. So first of all, ETON, brilliant. Exactly what it's supposed to do. I'll put the link in the description when I've finished for this for that particular video. Again, that was a live stream. We had that full confluence. It came up on the scanner. The green triangle is a roller coaster, then a 5 and a 6 star buy for an xBrat's algo. Totally different strategy. And then we're all green on the biostep heat map. Great trade. 1450 something was the entry, and we closed at 1734. Just to remind you that my target really was born out of this previous sort of pivot, which was tested on quite a few days here. So, for those trading options, when we do look at those targets, we've got to look at those previous resistance zones. Now, there's nothing to say this will not break through and continue to go. If you are, in fact, just swing trading this, for example, we can see here on the chart, we've started to print our trailing stop. So there's nothing wrong with locking in a bit of profit here on that trailing stop position here. Okay, I'll just draw that line in. Let's change it to red and hashed. Okay, so this is our trailing stop position. So if you wanted to, and you had an open position on here, one of the things with this trailing stop position is it gives it quite a bit of room. So you got a bit of time to do that with, and that's really with the roller coaster here on those settings there. So again, if it touches here, if you've got an options trade, that's fine. Okay, and you've set that strike price at $18. You take the money, you're out. If you're swing trading this with physical stocks or even contracts for difference, and there's a lot of momentum going into this resistance zone, there's no reason why you can't break it and make new highs. I mean, that's what stocks do. So if you keep trailing this as we move along, you're giving it room to actually push through. Once we get a close up above there, you could be a lot more aggressive and just put it underneath that $18 mark. But again, let's see how it goes in the near future. So that's ETON that's open at the moment. Now, where are we on the main watch list? So RSI was my stocks pick of the week last week. And remember, I talked about this as an earnings play. We had earnings on the 30th. So earnings really, okay, let's just make that a little bigger. So earnings did happen on the 30th. 1st of May, we moved down. And then we've got a bit of a bullish reaction on the Friday there. So for me, we've still got a lot of fresh air with a 1264 entry. So now we've had that earnings reaction. So the day after earnings, we moved down. So now we've got this pivot. We've got this start line for us to go long. So really for me is I need to break that 1264 level to enter into a trade. We've still got a lot of room all the way up to $17 here. So the reaction's over. We've got a pivot just before earnings. This is brilliant. Our stop either is here with the roller coaster stop around 1022 or ultra conservative at 943. If we're ultra conservative at 943, our risk reward would be around about 1 to 1.5. So still not, there's a lot of fresh air there. So I'm very happy with that sort of strategy. So just because there's a stock pick of the week We don't sort of buy it straight away. Last week I discussed the reason why we've got full confluence with this last week, and it came up on the scanner, but we needed earnings to go through. So the next earnings now is the 29th of July. We see the earnings date here. So just because they come out on the scan and they look great, they've got lots of fresh air, you need to be aware of when that earnings date is. If it's a few days into the week, you just need to wait for that to happen, wait for the reaction. So, if the reaction was positive, for example, and we got a close, I would have then gone in the next day if it had breached that high. In this case, it didn't, and that's my plan from today, from this week, is stock market order 1264 to go long, with initial target there at $17. Okay, and that's an update on RSI, where we want to be for from last week's, and then this week I'm looking at BLOK. Okay, I'm looking at it's a cryptocurrency ETF, blockchain leaders ETF. Really strong potential here. I've got a lot of fresh air all the way up. Just going to go to the weekly like I do every time. So this has come up on the scan. If I go here, we've got 3 out of 3, okay, on the confluence filter. Now, we've had highs, but also if we really zoom out, we can see there's some highs up here back in 2021. So I've framed the chart. All I've done is joined the dots. This high pivot here, these high pivots here, draw a rectangle, send it out to the right. $64 in the middle of there is a big resistance zone. We can see there are very good moves up and down in this particular ETF. We've got a big weekly support down here as well. Got quite a wide channel, but it's trending higher again. There's potential there to get back to $64, but we need to be realistic, and we need to understand where those daily zones are, and that's there in gray. So again, I've joined the dots, the high pivot here, these 2 low pivots here. I've sent them out to the right, centered around that $54 price. That could be trouble. We've got a lot here as well, with a high pivot just here, and these pivots here. That's resistance, again, centered around the $50 mark. So those are potential targets, and this is where we've got to work out our fresh air, if you like. Is there enough fresh air to get to that first target? Can we start to manage? So we had our green triangle for the roller coaster signal on the 23rd of April, but that on its own is no good. We then, on Friday, on the 2nd of May, we had a 6-star buy. So a 6-star buy for an xBrat's algo is 12 out of 12 points of control of confluence. Very strong signal. And then we've got 6 out of 6 green on here. So we need an entry, and the entry's got to be sensibly just above the high, 42.54 of Friday. It could gap if Bitcoin runs a lot this weekend, but it's not doing at the moment, so it should be okay. And then stock-wise, we'll be into this support just underneath here. So let's put our risk to reward on. Again, just using a simple tool here. Hi, Otis. How you doing? Good morning. So stops around about 31.22. Entries 42.49. So I'm a 0.6 into there. It's not fantastic, but I just think there's a hell of a lot of room in there. And it's something that I need more exposure. I do have YBTC ETF. I do hold Bitcoin and Ethereum. But right now, I want some more exposure to cryptocurrency with an ETF, and I think this is the one where we're gonna really sort of make some difference here. If Bitcoin goes on a run right now, this will drag that up to $50, may break the $50 and go to 54. Remember, these trading stops that print, these are the ones that here, for example, these are the ones that will help us manage that trade and lock in profit. There's just a lot of momentum. Remember, confluence is about strength of directional flow. So we start off slow with those tributaries. Now we're getting more and more. So maybe a little late, but this is the one that really, really sort of caught my eye this week. There's lots of stocks out there that came on the confluence scan. I'll just quickly show you back to that in a minute. But this is where I want to be. I think this is most likely. I'm looking for a long-term hold on this, and we'll buy the dips and all that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be my first entry into this ETF, and it'll go on my longer-term list as well. But first of all, I just need it to get through that sort of high from Friday, and then I'd be happy to even if it pulls back at this resistance zone, and in theory we get as we go on in the future, and I do these weekly stock picks, I will start to build a list of these ETFs that I'm going to longer term in. When it comes to getting confluence again and adding more, I will just update everybody. So BLOK is my sort of pick this week, purely because there's other things. Like I said, I want some more exposure to cryptocurrency, not just buying physical cryptocurrency. I'm only in one ETF at the moment for Bitcoin, so that's where I want to be with that. So hopefully, let me just quickly then go to the main list, because again, this is just a quick update. BLOK is my pick this week. I'm going to go to the end of day scanner, and then I'm just going to put the confluence on of all three green. As you can see, there are 85 potentials there. I chose BLOK. Okay, I just zoomed straight into that, but there are lots of other potentials. There's a few pages there of potentials this week, and this is how so strong the stock's predator is. And there's a link down and below in the description to get in on this stock's predator while you can as a beta tester. So it's a really great sort of deal going on right now. So you'll get grandfathered into all the next levels as we get them out this year. So check out those links below. This week again, it's just a quick live stream with updates on those previous stock picks, and of course what I'm looking at this week. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you all